We've got a hubbub of activity, and I'm Enrique Madriguera, and I'm the Russell Cleveland Professor here at UT Dallas, and here is Mr. Russell Cleveland. Let's welcome. So Russell has had this wonderful love affair with the guitar, and he called me recently because he was involved in a move, and he said, could I ask you a favor to, hold on to a guitar for a couple of days? And so I picked up the guitar, and it turned out to be an 1858 Antonio Torres, and which you see Beatrice holding right now, and soon she will play. In addition to Beatrice, we have Lynn, who gave a wonderful master class today and was one of our finalists last year. Dragos, who is a finalist. Kyle, and we'll end with Juju. Juju. So, without further ado, Mr. Russell.
Thank you, Rick. And first thing, this last couple of days has been terrific, so just a lot of great play here. So give your help a big hand. I've been involved for many years with the guitar. My collection back in 1997, the book came out in London. Let me see if I can show you the cover, called Complete History of the Classical Guitar. And as it turns out, this is my collection. And they came to Dallas from London. They spent a week. I have a ranch. They went out to my ranch, and they had a fine art photographer, and they spent all week photographing these guitars. And you know, the guitar, just a little history. The guitar, of course, has been around for hundreds of years. But up until, 1850 or so, a lot of guitars were smaller. Today we call them a parlor guitar because they weren't the big size of these guitars. And one of the first great makers of the bigger guitar was Torres. And we're going to talk a little bit about that, but I was thinking about guitar today, and I reminded me one of the most interesting statements I ever heard was by John Duarte, who gave a lecture here. He was a British composer, and he had bought an old guitar. He paid £3 for it, and one of his good friends was Andre Segovia. So Andre was visiting at his home, and Duarte said, well, he would go make the tea. So he's making the tea, and all of a sudden he hears this unbelievable, beautiful guitar, and he was thinking, if he only could have a Hauser or a Ramirez. And so he goes in to see Andre Segovia, and Andre Segovia was playing his $3 guitar. And he thought, well, it isn't the guitar, it's the player. So I've always remembered that. Now, the Torres, this is a real interesting history because this guitar was in several books, and it's obviously very, very old. One of the things I always loved about the guitar, when I close the case, if you could see it here, it's got the most interesting decals from all over the world. But when we were publishing this book, we had a number of different guitar experts. One of them, a gentleman named Richard Burdang, well, he said, this is not a Torres, this is something else. And then they had other experts that said, no, this is the original Torres. And the editors concluded, I always like this statement, the only way we'll know is we'd have to dig up Torres and ask him, is this his guitar? So it's been in my collection, and It's a very interesting guitar, the make of it. It's not Brazilian rosewood, and I think this was 1858, and there in that era there wasn't that many Brazilian. And so I was talking to Rick, and he said, "Hey, let's get it out." And I told him I hadn't heard it played in years.
Right, we put strings on it last week.
Yeah, I had new strings.
There were broken strings on it.
And so we're honored to have some people play this and get your thoughts about the guitar. As I said, it's a very old instrument. We know that. We know it's at least 150 years old. So, but there are a lot of clever people in this world, and maybe this is a real Torres, maybe it isn't. But let's go ahead and play a few things on it and get your opinion. See what you think.
I can tell you that the man who inspected it, because I said, you know, Russell, before we put strings on it, let's have a repairman who specializes in guitars and collector guitars to take a look at it. And that's John Fitzgerald, who I invited to come today. He's busy. He told me that the machinery on the guitar and even the fret wire is not of this century. It's of another time. And you can't. Well, the trouble you have to go to falsify that is too great. There's always a possibility that there existed some maker who wanted to forge, because we do have people that make counterfeits, right? And sell it off as a Torres to collect a higher fee. That's within the capability, but nonetheless, as you'll hear, and Russell was correct in saying that it's not a Brazilian rosewood, but it is a spruce, it's mahogany. Now in 1858, Torres was in Seville, and he had ups and downs in his career, and he would use the best wood he could find. And so rather than Brazilian rosewood, that's mahogany. Well, it sounds darn good. So Patriots, would you please announce what you're going to play?
Yes. Hi, I'm Beatrice Pinto, and I will play. I'm Beatrice Pinto, and I will play Grande Valse by Torres.
just the way I would have played it.
So it's actually, I think it's smaller than the modern guitar right now.
You mean body or string length?
The string length and the body at the same time. Yeah, it's the both.
But it's the Hauser size. That's the size that Herman Hauser copied from Torres. And and then the Madrid makers with Segovia started expanding the guitar because Segovia's playing these huge balls and he had huge hands. But that's the standard size of the guitar. That is the historic standard. I think we're not quite at 442, we're a little lower, right?
Probably yes, yeah.
I think you can even put it at 440. I'm surprised. It's a stout instrument.
Because I think it's right now in tune, and I think it's good. I just do some things like when you have a new instrument, I always just like try to just playing something to warming up, like to feel guitar, and I will say the sound is very intimate and it's very warm to me, and it's actually because right now we're thinking modern guitar, like double top, and then it's like loud and you can push it. And actually on this guitar, I didn't feel any like limit. You can still try like rastral, you can play strong on that, and I don't feel like buzzings or something like on, yes, on those high notes. That is well, that was pretty good, brilliant. Also that, well, the high notes is like working super well, I think.
In general, it's quite.
Yeah.
So whoever made it really knew how to make guitar.
Yeah.
And, John Fitzgerald said he thinks it's a Torres. I agree with him.
Yeah, and I feel the neck here, it's a little bit thicker. I think right now we also have like different designing for this part, but I will feel it's like thicker. Right now, this part will be like narrower, I think, like on my guitar, and also try a couple of guitars and these things, and I really feel the curve, like it's like rounded. Yeah, so it's that's create a little bit different feeling about playing. So I will try to play a piece also by Tarrega. It's good to play a Tarrega. And I will try my best. Didn't play this guitar for a long time. I did try a little bit this morning, and I will also try to test different colors. And I played something here, something there, just to see that it's not really sounding good. Oh, sorry, I forgot to announce. It's Rosita Polka by Francisco Terry.
Another Torres story. I had a 1888 Torres that had been played by Emil Pujol, and Pepe Romero was at my home. And I brought out the guitar, and he was, oh my God, he said, this is great. And the phone rang. It was his wife. He picked up the phone. Can't talk, I'm in Torres heaven. He put the phone down. That was Pepe Romero.
Yeah, I got to spend some time with this beauty by myself for a little bit right before. And it's just what my colleague said. It's very, very warm, lovely sound. The neck is unusually thicker for a Torres, at least from what I know. Nonetheless, it's a beauty. I ran out of targa pieces to play for you guys, so let's see. Let's do something.
Other music sounds great.
I'm just gonna play a little bit of Julia Florida by Agustin Barrios. That's how much I know. Let me try something else. And these are the original tuners.
Yes.
Wow. One is metal.
Yeah.
They replaced one, okay. And this is ivory or?
That's iron.
Wow. Wow.
That's iron.
Same here, I assume.
You know, the guitar needs to be researched, honestly. That's my feeling. But, and you mentioned about the neck, that's 1858, that's fairly early in Torres' career.
Yeah.
By 1888, Russell had one. He was much more sophisticated at Pujol and Targa and all that.
Yeah.
Guitars.
Lovely. Very beautiful. Gorgeous. Okay, who wants to try it next?
Kyle's gonna take it, and then Juju.
Don't wow me, dude. I stopped middle of a piece because I didn't know it. Yes. Do you want this?
Yeah, sure. Yeah. All right. Yeah, we kind of spent all morning getting to know this guitar, and it's been great. I've been able to hear it a few times, and it's actually a lot better. Like being in the center, you get to hear like very intimately, which is really cool. It's cool how like some guitars have that kind of intimacy where like if you sit over here, it's completely different than if you sit over here or sit over there, you know? So I think this guitar has that. And yeah, I think I'm gonna play a romantic piece. I'm gonna play the Hommage à Chopin by Alexander Tonsman.
And play what you played in your program last night. So Juju studies in the New England Conservatory with Elliot.
Yeah. So I'll play the Prelude Number 2 by Tarrega.
Speak up just a little more, please.
Okay, I will play Prelude Number 2 by Tarrega and the Scherzo Valse by Jobate. So the Prelude Number 2 is dedicated to Jobate. Yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Beautiful. You're actually getting to hear the person before you or after you, which is a wonderful kind of a thing. Russell, what do you say? Do you want to invite?
Well, if Torres was here, he would like this.
He would be
He
happy
really
to
would.
this guitar.
He would say this is great, so.
It's been played more today than in 25,
Yeah,
30 years.
so, but it's always the player more than the guitar, so just like Segovia could play a $3 guitar and it would sound great. So congratulations to all of you for making the instrument sound good, really. So.